What is up, guys? Patrick here from NintenTalk, back with a brand new video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the good and the bad of the brand new game, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And later on, I'm going to kind of give my first impressions, kind of how I'm feeling about this game so far. I put in probably about 15 hours so far, and I would say I'm a little less than halfway done with the game if you're going in terms of storyline and stuff like that. Usually I beat the story first and then I go back, kind of go for all the Pokemon. But yes, I have to admit, when this game was first announced, the idea of integrating Pokemon Go and a Pokemon mainline game really did scare me. I honestly think, I mean, as active as Pokemon Go is still, I think that it's kind of dangerous to mix, a phenomenon like Pokemon Go and a series that's been going on for such a long time and, has such a loyal fan base. But I gotta say, as I've been playing this game, I actually like most of the integration of the Pokemon Go, franchise and what that game has brought to Pokemon, because the two are very different in terms of mechanics, in terms of, just little differences between those two. But so let's get right into it. Starting off with something good, I really do like the fact that we've gone back all the way to Kanto, and we've kind of, reintroduced this franchise to a lot of gamers again. Now, the reason why I say that is because I really do believe that a lot of the older Nintendo fans, or people that used to play a lot of the older Nintendo games, have kind of resurfaced, and, their love for Nintendo, I think, is coming back with the Nintendo Switch. I feel like a lot of people fell off, obviously, with the Wii U, and there was a certain hardcore audience that, really did not like the Nintendo Wii. So I feel like we're getting that, that group of gamers back. And I think that reintroducing them, playing off the nostalgia bug a little bit, I think was a smart move by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. So I really do like the fact that we're coming back to where it all started. I really do like that. The second thing I do like is the little, quality of life improvements that this game has. The new catching mechanic I have to talk about. That's probably the biggest difference in this game. We've integrated a lot from Pokemon Go, and this by far is the biggest difference. So there's a couple of differences. When you're walking around in this world, first of all, you are seeing the Pokemon come to you and kind of, doing their own thing in the grass. Normally in the mainline Pokemon games, you would just walk in the grass randomly and you would get random encounters. So I think the subtraction of random encounters has actually improved my play with this and kind of motivates me to catch all the Pokemon. If I can see the Pokemon on the screen, I think I'm going to go out of my way more to catch these Pokemon. Before, it was always a game of, guess and check, walking in the high grass and hoping I got that Pokemon that I needed, sometimes turned discouraging. So the ability to see the Pokemon in the grass, I think, is a very good change. And it's going to be interesting to see if they implement that in the next game. The other change is, the catching system itself. So in the normal mainline Pokemon games, you're actually weakening the Pokemon to, a spot that is low enough that you can catch them. Weakening the Pokemon so they don't get out of the Pokeball. In this, it's much like Pokemon Go. So in Pokemon Go, all you're doing is throwing Pokeballs at Pokemon. And there are some berries that, so one berry will make it easier for you to catch a Pokemon, and then another berry will, stop the Pokemon from moving around, because sometimes when you're going to catch the Pokemon, they are moving around on the screen, so you kind of have to aim where you throw it, which is a little difficult, not too much. So I do like the addition of the Go mechanic of catching Pokemon. However, I must say that the motion control is not, 100% accurate. I would say most of the time it works, but there are some instances where, the Pokemon will move to the side of the screen and it won't register, that I threw the Pokeball that way, which is a little minor annoyance. But for the most part, the motion control is spot on. I do think that this mechanic is a little tacked on. It gets old a little fast. I like doing it. I mean, it feels good to catch Pokemon, obviously, but I think the novelty will wear off for some people. I do enjoy it, though. Overall, I do enjoy it. The next part that I really, really do love about these two games is the fact that it plays on the anime quite a bit. If you guys were like me, you grew up in the 90s, you kind of, this show was everything. Kids love this show. And it was really awesome to see, a card game and, a little Game Boy game come to life on screen in the anime. So this game really plays on the anime itself, bringing in characters like Team Rocket, Jesse and James, and just different moments from the show are coming to life in this game. So that's really cool to see. The nostalgia is very, very great here, and it just adds to the overall experience. I was pulled into this game because of the nostalgia. Now, some of the things that I don't really care for, okay, let's just talk about this for a second. I have to talk about the visuals, and let me just say that the visuals of this game, this is the best looking Pokemon game that we've ever got. Now, I would say that in terms of character models, I would say that Pokken Tournament or maybe even Smash Brothers has the best character models that we've ever seen. Now, that being said, this is the best Pokemon game we've ever seen. However, the graphics, I wouldn't consider them next gen, and the graphics for me were a little bit of a problem. Overall, the presentation of this game looks very good. It's bright. The art style itself, though, is very simple, very bright, very colorful, very nice to look at, but I wouldn't consider this a next-gen game. And one of the things that definitely stood out to me are the shadows of the Pokemon, and that was really an eyesore. Overall, I think that the shadows are a very weak point, and some of the backgrounds when you're battling really aren't detailed too well. So that would be my biggest knock on this game, is just the visuals. It doesn't feel like a next-gen game. It feels to me like a very polished 3DS game, like an up-res 3DS game. Like, if I didn't know better, I would say that this is a really, really like an HD 3DS game, which does work well for what Pokemon is. Pokemon has never been about the graphics, but if I would have to say something bad about this game, I definitely think that the visuals aren't up to par with some of the things that are out there. Obviously, this is the Nintendo Switch. It can't do as much as the other consoles can, but I think the visuals could have been a little bit better. I think that I hope that the next game is a little bit more polished. Before I was talking about the quality of life enhancements, one of the things that is almost game breaking to me is the fact that you have your Pokemon box on you at all times. And the Pokemon box in the mainline games, basically you would have to go to a Pokemon Center, so a place that would heal your Pokemon. And from there is a box where you can manage all of your Pokemon, because you can only carry a certain amount of Pokemon, and once you go over that amount, they're transferred to a storage box, which is located in the Pokemon Center. Well, in this game, you actually have that Pokemon box on you at all times, which to me is a little bit game breaking at times, because you could definitely be, in a tunnel or in a cave and expect to face rock Pokemon and simply just deposit all your Pokemon and, withdraw all the water and grass types, which for me, part of the RPG elements of the mainline games is trying to survive until you get to the next Pokemon Center. So some of these quality of life improvements definitely, I think, hurt the title a little bit, and definitely make it, a little bit on the easier side. One thing that people do say is this game is catered to a younger audience. And while I do think that acquisition, getting more gamers to jump on the Pokemon bandwagon, is one of their top priorities with this game, I do think that this game is catered to the hardcore audience as well. I mean, just going back to Gen 1 is enough for me to feel like this is made for, the hardcore Pokemon players. So I do expect a little bit of a challenge. Not saying that this game is super easy, but it does start out really, really easy. But the level of difficulty does go up a bit while you're playing this game. But there are some elements in this game that make it really easy. And, for the hardcore audience, I could see why people would be turned off by this. Just a small example, if you go into a Pokemon gym, there are requirements. So for some gyms, you have to have a Pokemon at a certain level or a Pokemon of a certain type. So it really does hold your hand a lot. But I can see where it's coming from. It's definitely, I can see how this game would be appealing to, some of the younger crowd. Overall, though, I have to say that I'm really impressed with, the first installment of Pokemon on Switch. I think that this game is just a really fun game, and it just encourages to catch them all, which is, I think, the point of this entirely. I think that people, even if they're not big Pokemon fans, I think this game is worth checking out. I think that for the $60 price tag, though, compared to what other companies are doing, for example, Sony's releasing, the Spyro trilogy and the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, which are totally remade games. And in a certain sense, this is a remake of Pokemon Yellow. So it would be nice to have that $49.99 price tag or $39.99 price tag, because this, I mean, it is a remake. And it is in some ways an extension of the mobile game itself. But overall, I think that my worries have been put to rest about this game. I think that the Pokemon Go elements are subtle. This game, you know, the level of difficulty has gone down significantly. But again, this isn't supposed to be a mainline game. This is supposed to be just, you know, a spin-off. And if this is the only Let's Go game, I think they did a pretty good job. And I like to see Pokemon experimenting with, you know, different games and different side projects. You will get your mainline games. I think that celebrating Pokemon and encouraging the brand to grow is only good. So overall, guys, I would definitely recommend this game. So far, I'm loving this game. I haven't completed this game yet, but I just wanted to share with you guys some of the good, some of the bad. And let me know in the comment section below how you are liking the new Let's Go series, and some good and bad from you guys. I'm really excited to hear your responses. But guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.